I hacked the Pentagon for self-incriminating evidence of Republican-manufactured white powder pestilence, Marine Corps flak vest with the guns and ammo, spitting bars like a demon stuck inside a piano.
YouTube, salute. I'm here to give you my review for Who Killed Malcolm X Episode 1, Marked Men. This docu-series can be watched on Netflix, so if you have Netflix, please check it out. It's a 6-part episode, 6 episodes that actually cover Who Killed Malcolm X. And right now, I just got to finish watching episode 1. So let's dive into this. So the narrator, the person that put this together, is Abdur Rahman Muhammad. He's a historian, activist, and investigative journalist that actually dives into Malcolm X's murder. And the things he covered is Malcolm X, the day he was assassinated and the day prior. So in episode 1, without revealing too much, you get the day before encounter of Malcolm X, of what he was doing that day. He's talking to different witnesses. He's talking to former DA, assistant DAs. He's talking to former police officers. He's talking to eyewitnesses, people that was actually there at the ballroom the day he was assassinated. So he's going around collecting all this, personal accounts so he can have, not just for the documentary, but just for himself. Like I said, he's not an attorney. He's not a judge. He's just a person that wants justice for Malcolm X because it never set right for him. Abdur Rahman, he felt that Malcolm X inspired him at the age of 14 years old because when he was 14, he was beaten up by police, thrown to the back of a police car. They called him nigger with the ER, not the A, the ER. They threatened to kill him. But typically at that time in the 1950s, well, this is 1960s, so much police brutality was going on at that time. Black people were being killed by the police, and today they still get away with it, but it was at the height at that time, especially when you had the civil rights movement. Abdur Muhammad, he ended up going to Howard University. He said he became a black militant due to the fact that, Malcolm X inspired him through his fearlessness, manhood, the power that attracted so many other people. And it also made people fear Malcolm X because he knew that he was the type of person that he was fighting for human rights. He was fighting for black people, not just in the United States, but throughout the African diaspora. Malcolm's death was actually one of the most, hurtful things at that time and very tragic to the people in the United States, and not just for black people, but a lot of people throughout the United States, because they felt that they loved how Malcolm X, when he spoke about social injustice, when he spoke about, equality, Malcolm, he was really fighting for the right reasons. And at the same time, people still felt that Malcolm was a threat to society, a threat to this country, United States, which he was. You also get a chance to see evidence. When I mean evidence, that Abdur Rahman, he goes to Brooklyn. When he gets to Brooklyn, he finds case files that the DA sent over to, like, because when a DA, when they finish with a case, the files are sent to a certain office and it's like, okay, these cases are closed. He actually reopens them and he looks through police logs and pictures of when Malcolm X was at the coroner office and everything. So he's pulling all this information up. He also finds out from a former assistant DA named Herbert Stern that how he first heard about the assassination. He heard it, in a bar, and he ended up calling the precinct, and they was asking where he was at, and they said that the person that shot Malcolm X, well, street people that shot them, and the people names were, these were the people, the name they say was Norman 3X Butler, Thomas 15X Johnson, and Thomas Hagen. Those are the three people, and they was actually working for the Harlem Mosque at that time, which was Malcolm X Mosque that he was out of. And one of the members, the Muslims that got caught, was Thomas Hagen, and he had a 45 gun. And with that 45 gun, the only reason why he got caught because one of Malcolm X's bodyguards shot him in the leg. He shot him in the leg, and the other two got away. Those other two people, like I said, Butler and Johnson, was arrested several days later, but there was no physical evidence, just eyewitnesses' statements. So you didn't really have the really concrete proof. And the NYPD closed the case after they locked these men up. They was like, okay, that's it. The case is closed. There was never no, really no justice being, fought for Malcolm. And a lot of people felt that Malcolm X, when the day he was assassinated, when the police showed up on the scene, the police, like, they was very nonchalant. It's almost like they didn't even care too much. It just felt like, all right, whatever. Yeah, another person dead. It's almost like they was happy that it happened. They just wanted to move forward. Then, you have a lot of audio clips and video clips of Malcolm X. So you see Malcolm X talking in the mosque. You see Malcolm X talking in the streets. You hear the audio of him talking positive to Black people, giving them, food for thought, knowledge about what to do, how to, be proud of yourself being Black. You also hear one of the pallbearers that actually carried the casket for Malcolm X funeral, because he was appointed by Betty Shabazz, Malcolm X's wife, that, it was very hurtful. And it's something that he said that he could have never, never thought this would happen. And some people that was there at the ballroom, they felt that Malcolm X murder was so devastating that it was more painful than like a family member passing away. So just like, I hate to bring this up, Kobe Bryant. A lot of people cried like Kobe Bryant was like their brother, their uncle, their dad, which I'm not mad at, because you grow to have this relationship, this relationship with somebody. So Malcolm X, he meant a lot to a lot of people in their lives at that time. And people had this so much rage built up in them that 2 days after Malcolm X's assassination, the Harlem Mosque was burnt down. The Harlem Mosque was burnt down. They show a video clip of Elijah Muhammad speaking, and he said that he wanted Muslims not to lay a hand on Malcolm X. You hear it, and he's talking about don't lay a hand on Malcolm X because he don't know what he's doing. Like, let the brother be. He's going to come back around. And they actually talked to a former national security of the NOI, the Nation of Islam. And he talks about how he stayed in Chicago where he was living at, and they go, behind the scenes when he was working with Elijah Muhammad. And, Adur Muhammad's asking him like, hey, do you think, like he's being slick with it, not direct about, the assassination of Malcolm X. And he felt that Elijah Muhammad had nothing to do with it. He said because Elijah Muhammad was telling people to stand down, don't worry about that. He said Malcolm X actually could have been killed earlier or faster than he was if it wasn't for Elijah Muhammad. And he gave this little strange look, almost like, like Malcolm's life was just, at a point that he should be thankful that if he died at that point, it could have been worse. I was like, damn, how he was looking. Then Adur Muhammad, like I said, he goes to, a mosque present day, and he's talking to people that's like elders at the mosque, and he's trying to get information about like how these people, how their interaction was with Malcolm X. Was there any type of like um dilemma between Malcolm X and Elijah Muhammad when they first came around? Did they notice anything that maybe, made them scratch their head or made them feel very discomfort? But you don't really see too much. People just kind of like, just talking and, give him information, but you're not hearing too much because the footage is only showing what they want you to show you at that present moment. But at the same time, Adur Muhammad, he made a valid point that when you're asking and interviewing people, you can't be too direct, because at the same time, you you can come off to people like, what the hell you want to know that for? And people might not want to actually give you the answer you're looking for. So you kind of got to ease your way in. I thought episode one was great. I think it's more of like an appetizer. They're kind of just preparing you for the full course meal. Malcolm X, yes, he was a marked man. Even before he left the Nation of Islam, before the situation happened to him, Elijah Muhammad, he was always a marked man because of what he was doing. And he became more of a marked man by the CIA, FBI, due to the fact that he became a Pan-Africanist, and he linked up with African leaders like Patrice Lumumba, Kwame Nkrumah. So he was already a global icon that was actually being feared towards, you know, white supremacy, towards, imperialism. If you get a chance, please check out this documentary. It's breathtaking. If you never read the autobiography of Malcolm X, please read that book. But this documentary gives you a great insight of you talking. I mean, you can hear people that was actually there at the scene when Malcolm X was assassinated, in the ballroom, outside, people that worked for the Harlem Mosque, people that worked for Elijah Muhammad. So you're getting all these great interviews, you're getting all this great footage, and you get to hear their voice, their accounts, and you getting interviews by former police officers, the DAs, and et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's actually great. I will be watching all the episodes, and every episode I finish watching, I will actually give you a review for each episode. So this is episode one review, Mark Man. Post your comments below. Host smash Black Panther the like button. Subscribe to my channel. Click the bell icon to be notified when I upload new content and go live. If you'd like to support and donate to the channel, I have Venmo, CashApp, PayPal, Streamlabs. Everything's in the description. Until next time, peace.